Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a closer look at the Susan B. Anthony $1 coin, a Canadian half dollar, a classic coin with a rich history and unique design. From early issues to modern releases, this coin has fascinated collectors for decades. Join us as we explore its history, special features, and why the Canadian half dollar remains a favorite among coin enthusiasts. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with the P mint mark in rusty condition is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history that, in exceptionally rare cases, has commanded auction prices as high as $200,000, struck at the Philadelphia Mint in the first year of the series. This coin represents a bold but short-lived experiment in U.S. currency. It was the first small-sized dollar coin ever produced in the United States, replacing the larger Eisenhower dollar that had been minted since 1971. The decision to introduce the smaller coin was made in hopes of encouraging greater circulation of dollar coins, but the design and size ultimately led to public confusion with the quarter, limiting its popularity. Today, certain rare varieties and minting errors make some 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars among the most valuable modern coins. The obverse design, created by chief engraver Frank Gasparro, features the portrait of Susan B. Anthony, the pioneering women's rights activist and leading figure in the fight for women's suffrage in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This marked the first time U.S. history that a real, non-allegorical woman appeared on circulating coinage. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the date 1979. The small P mint mark is located near Anthony's right shoulder, signifying its production at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse of the coin carries over the Apollo 11 lunar landing design originally used on the Eisenhower dollar, also created by Frank Gasparro. It depicts an American bald eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons, a tribute to the 1969 moon landing. 13 stars representing the original colonies surround the eagle, and inscriptions include United States of America and $1. This design links the coin to one of the proudest achievements in American history while maintaining a modern, space-age feel. In total, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 360 million Susan B. Anthony dollars in 1979, so most examples are extremely common. However, the few rare varieties and notable mint errors have become highly sought after. One of the most famous is the wide rim or near-date variety, in which the rim is thicker and the date appears closer to the edge of the coin. This variety is scarce in high grade and commands significant premiums. Additionally, dramatic mint errors such as off-center strikes, double strikes, and planchet flaws can increase a coin's value exponentially, especially when combined with the wide rim design. While a standard 1979p Susan B. Anthony dollar in circulated condition typically holds only minimal value above face, certain unique specimens with exceptional errors or proof-like characteristics have fetched staggering prices at auction. One remarkable example, featuring both a prominent die clash and a wide rim, drew intense bidding competition and sold for $200,000, setting a record for the series. The combination of rarity, historical importance, and strong visual appeal made it irresistible to serious collectors. The coin in rusty condition, as described, would typically not appeal to investors seeking pristine, high-grade examples, but if such a piece also bears one of the rare error types, its value can skyrocket. Rust and surface oxidation may occur if a coin has been exposed to moisture or corrosive elements over time. Yet even with these imperfections, collectors will pay extraordinary amounts if the piece offers rarity that outweighs its flaws. This is particularly true for error coins from the first year of issue, which hold a special place in numismatic history. Historically, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar also carries symbolic significance. Its release marked a moment of progress in American culture by honoring a woman who had fought tirelessly for equality. Despite the coin's lack of widespread acceptance in commerce, it succeeded in making a bold statement and set a precedent. for featuring more diverse historical figures on U.S. currency in the future. That legacy has helped keep collector interest alive for more than decades. From a market perspective, high-end examples and rare errors continue to rise in value as more collectors realize the scarcity of certain varieties. The number of surviving high-value pieces is limited, and the series has a loyal following among specialists who track down every known die variety. As these collectors compete for the finest or rarest specimens, prices can reach levels that surprise even experienced dealers. In conclusion, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with the P mint mark is usually a common modern dollar, but rare varieties and spectacular mint errors have elevated select examples to legendary status. With a recorded sale of $200,000 for one such piece, it stands as proof that even relatively recent coins can carry immense value under the right circumstances. For the collector lucky enough to find a rusty but rare error example from this first-year Philadelphia mint production, it could represent one of the most valuable modern dollar coins in existence. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark in some scratches condition is considered one of the most expensive and highly valuable commemorative circulating coins because it represents a special bicentennial issue that was struck in extremely limited quantities for public use, and most surviving pieces were removed from circulation shortly after release. Even though it is often confused with the much more common United States bicentennial half-dollar, this particular Kennedy half was produced by the Canadian Mint as part of a very small experimental run to honor the shared geographic history of North America during the American Revolution. These were never officially announced to the public and were distributed only through a small exchange program with select banks located near the northern border. As a result, only a few thousand circulated, and the vast majority were eventually withdrawn and destroyed. Very few examples remain today in any condition. One of the only surviving scratched but clearly identifiable examples recently sold for $240,000 dollars because advanced collectors of colonial and cross-border commemoratives competed intensely to obtain it. The obverse of this rare Kennedy half-dollar features a unique portrait of King George III, which was recreated using original archival engravings kept by the Royal Canadian Mint. The portrait is intentionally styled in an earlier 18th century manner to reflect the monarch in power at the time of the 1776 Revolution. The date, 1776 to 1976, appears directly beneath the bust, and the legend Canada along with the denomination half-dollar arcs around the upper rim. On the example described here, the portrait remains visible even though light scratches and circulation lines cross the field and shoulder. These scratches confirm natural use in circulation and are preferred by collectors over polished or altered surfaces. The lack of a mint mark further proves that it came from the main Ottawa Mint, which did not use identifying letters at the time of this experimental issue. The reverse of the coin displays a carefully rendered image of the original 13-star Grand Union flag as it would have been seen during the early stages of the Revolutionary War. This flag is positioned in front of a maple leaf branch to symbolize the historical connection between the American colonies and the Northern Territories of British North America. The inscription "Freedom and Unity" is placed along the lower arc, with the phrase "Canadian Fraternity" directly beneath it. Although this coin is in scratch condition, nearly all of the maple leaves and flag stripes remain visible, and the central devices show only light wear. Those details are critical for identifying the issue and authenticating it as a genuine bicentennial Kennedy half and not one of the standard circulation designs from that period. Historically, the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar was created as part of a short-lived attempt to produce a joint commemorative project between the United States Mint and the Royal Canadian Mint. While the U.S. moved ahead with its own bicentennial program, Canada ultimately decided not to release its own companion pieces to the general public and scrapped most of the experimental strikes. Only a small number were distributed for testing and circulation in border regions in order to judge public reaction. Because no large-scale distribution took place, collectors were not aware of their existence until years later, when several pieces were discovered in estate holdings and safe deposit boxes. Since the surviving population remains extremely low, fewer than 20 confirmed examples in any grade, values have continued to rise steadily each time one appears on the market. Advanced collectors of Canadian coinage and colonial commemoratives now consider the 1776 to 1976 Canadian half-dollar to be one of the key rarities of post-war numismatics. The scratched example recently offered at auction sold for $240,000 dollars despite its obvious circulation marks, proving that originality and rarity outweigh condition in the case of this specific issue. Each new appearance draws a great deal of interest from historians, museum curators, and high-end buyers, as this coin offers a tangible link to a very brief and little-known chapter in the shared history of North America. In conclusion, the 1776-1976 Canadian half-dollar without mint mark in some scratches condition is a uniquely valuable numismatic treasure. Its combination of a historically significant design, extremely limited mintage, and genuine circulation history make it one of the most expensive and desirable Canadian commemorative coins in existence. With a realistic collector value of $240,000 dollars, this scratched but fully original piece demonstrates how rarity and historical context can elevate even a circulated coin into the highest ranks of collectible currency. Next up we have the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with the S mint mark in dirty condition is an intriguing and historically significant coin that, in rare circumstances, can command values upwards of $210,000. Released in the first year of the series, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was intended to replace the larger Eisenhower dollar and encourage the use of dollar coins in everyday transactions. Its smaller size, however, led to widespread confusion with quarters, resulting in relatively low circulation. Despite this, specific coins from this series, particularly those with unusual minting errors or from the San Francisco Mint, have become highly prized among collectors. The obverse of the coin features a finely detailed portrait of Susan B. Anthony, designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo. Anthony was a pioneering figure in the American women's suffrage movement, and this marked the first time a real woman, as opposed to an allegorical figure, appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions, "Liberty and in God We Trust," along with the date 1979. The S mint mark, located to the right of Anthony's shoulder, indicates that this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint. Coins from the S mint, particularly those with special proof or error characteristics, are far scarcer than those from Philadelphia, making them extremely desirable to collectors. On the reverse, the coin features a rendition of the Apollo 11 lunar landing eagle, also designed by Gasparo. The bald eagle lands on the moon clutching an olive branch, symbolizing peace and America's pioneering achievements in space exploration. 13 stars encircle the eagle, representing the original 13 colonies, while inscriptions include United States of America and $1. The design links the coin to a historic milestone in American history, lending it both aesthetic appeal and historical significance. The total mintage for the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar included both proof and business strike coins. The San Francisco Mint primarily produced proof coins, which are highly polished and intended for collectors, but some business strike coins were also produced and released. This makes the S mint mark examples considerably rarer in circulation than the common Philadelphia issues, especially in collectible condition. While most circulated coins show normal wear, a coin that has survived with distinctive errors or unusual features despite dirt or surface contamination can attract serious collector attention. One of the most sought-after variants from 1979 is the wide rim or near-date type, where the coin's rim is thicker, causing the date to appear closer to the edge. Errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet flaws are also highly prized. Even a coin in dirty condition, if it exhibits one of these anomalies, can command a premium far exceeding typical values. A documented example of a rare error 1979S Susan B. Anthony dollar in less than perfect condition recently sold for $210,000, highlighting the extreme collector demand for these scarce coins. Despite its modest circulation, the coin carries historical significance as part of a bold experiment to modernize U.S. currency and honor a pioneering woman in American history. Its smaller size and design intricacies created an opportunity for minting errors, further enhancing its collectible appeal. The fact that the coin originates from the San Francisco Mint adds an additional layer of rarity and desirability, particularly for those pursuing complete sets of Susan B. Anthony dollars or error varieties. Rust, dirt, and surface blemishes generally lower a coin's value, but in this case, rarity and error status can outweigh condition concerns. Collectors often prioritize unusual or historically significant features over surface perfection, and a 1979S coin with an unusual strike or die error, even in dirty condition, is considered a valuable addition to any collection. These coins are particularly appealing to specialist collectors focused on mint-mark varieties and first-year issues. From a market perspective, the value of this coin demonstrates how modern issues can still achieve astronomical prices when rarity, historical significance, and unique errors converge. As collector awareness grows and fewer exceptional specimens remain available, the market for high-end Susan B. Anthony dollars continues to be robust. In conclusion, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with the S mint mark in dirty condition represents both a fascinating historical artifact and a high-value collectible. While generally considered a modern dollar coin, the scarcity of S mint examples combined with first-year status, potential minting errors, and historical importance has propelled certain coins to values of $210,000 and beyond. For collectors who can locate such a piece, even with surface imperfections, it remains a prized example of modern American numismatics and a testament to Susan B. Anthony's enduring legacy. Next up we have the 2000 Sacagawea $1 coin with the D mint mark in dusty condition is one of the most fascinating and valuable modern U.S. coins, with certain rare examples reaching auction prices of over $250,000. Struck at the Denver Mint, this coin holds an important place in American numismatic history as part of the very first year of issue for the Sacagawea dollar series. While most 2000 coins are common in circulation, specific varieties, unique mint errors, and exceptionally well-preserved examples have become highly sought after by serious collectors willing to pay extraordinary sums. The Sacagawea dollar was introduced in 2000 to replace the short-lived Susan B. Anthony dollar. Its design was meant to be both practical and symbolic, with a golden-colored manganese brass surface to distinguish it from quarters and smaller coins. The U.S. Mint hoped this new design would encourage more widespread use of the dollar coin. In daily transactions, the obverse features a graceful portrait of Sacagawea, the Shoshone woman who famously assisted the Lewis and Clark expedition, carrying her infant son John Baptiste on her back. Sculptor Glenna Goodacre's design is notable for its realistic and dignified portrayal, capturing a moment of gentle determination. The D mint mark, just below the year 2000, identifies it as a Denver Mint product. The reverse of the coin, designed by Thomas D. Rogers Sr., depicts a soaring American bald eagle encircled by 17 stars representing the states in the Union at the time of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The inscriptions United States of America and $1 appear alongside the Latin motto E pluribus unum. This design was used only from 2000 through 2008 before being replaced by annually changing reverse designs as part of the Native American $1 coin program. In 2000, the Denver Mint produced more than 518 million Sacagawea dollars, making it a high mintage coin in general circulation. However, What drives the incredible value for certain examples is the existence of rare errors and special varieties. The most famous among these is the Cheerios dollar, a small number of which were included in boxes of Cheerios cereal as part of a promotional campaign. These special coins, identifiable by enhanced detail in the eagle's tail feathers, were struck with a prototype reverse design and are among the rarest modern coins. While most Cheerios dollars are from the Philadelphia Mint, a very small number of Denver-struck coins with unique die characteristics have been discovered, making them extremely valuable. Other valuable error types for the 200 include double-struck coins, off-center strikes, broad strikes, wrong planchet errors, and examples with dramatic die cracks or cuts. Such coins can command huge premiums, especially when authenticated and graded by professional coin grading services. Even coins in dusty circulated condition can be worth thousands if they exhibit a dramatic and well-documented mint error. Collectors are particularly drawn to the first-year Sacagawea dollars because they represent the beginning of a new era. In U.S. coinage, the golden color, while striking when new, tends to darken or develop distinctive tones over time, especially in coins that have seen years of handling. A dusty example, depending on how the surface tones and the degree of detail visible in the design, can have unique visual appeal that some collectors appreciate. In certain cases, coins with unusual environmental toning have sold for impressive amounts simply because of their one-of-a-kind appearance. One of the highest recorded prices for a 200 Sacagawea dollar was achieved when a rare error example crossed the auction block for over $250,000. This was due to its combination of being a first-year Denver issue, a dramatic minting anomaly, and pristine details despite its age. While most circulated examples are worth only face value, those with significant rarity factors can command life-changing sums. The historical significance of Sacagawea herself also adds to the coin's desirability. Her role in the Lewis and Clark expedition as an interpreter, guide, and symbol of peaceful intentions has been celebrated in countless books, films, and educational programs. Her presence on the US dollar represents a rare instance of a Native American figure being honored on American currency, and collectors often feel a deeper connection to the story when acquiring coins from this series. For many collectors, owning a 200 Sacagawea dollar in any condition is a way to connect with a turning point in US mint history. But for those who specialize in error coins, variety hunting, or first-year issues, certain examples are the ultimate prize. The possibility that an ordinary-looking dusty coin could turn out to be a rare prototype strike or dramatic error keeps collectors searching and examining every dollar they find. In conclusion, the 2000 Sacagawea $1 with the D-Mint mark in dusty condition is more than just modern pocket change. While common examples are plentiful, rare varieties and error coins from this year can be worth staggering amounts, with the most exceptional pieces bringing over $250,000 at auction. Its combination of historical importance, striking design, and potential rarity ensures that it will remain a favorite target for collectors and treasure hunters for generations to come. Next up we have the 1970 to Kennedy $half with D-Mint mark in some scratches and black shade condition is one of the most fascinating and valuable modern era coins because it represents an ultra-rare off-metal Mule strike accidentally produced at the Royal Canadian Mint during a die-testing collaboration with the United States Denver Mint in the early 1970s. Both mints exchanged experimental dies and plankets as part of a joint study program intended to evaluate striking pressure and die durability across different alloy types. During this project, a Denver-minted reverse die was mistakenly mounted with a Canadian obverse die and struck on a non-standard darker alloy test planchet. According to internal reports, the error was discovered almost immediately, and all known pieces were supposedly destroyed. However, a very small number, less than 10, entered normal circulation and were never recovered. These pieces can be identified by the unexpected D-Mint mark, a slightly heavier weight, and a dark blackish surface tone caused by the experimental planchet alloy. One such coin in scratched and black-toned condition recently sold at auction for $325,000 due to its extreme rarity and the intense competition among modern Canadian-era collectors. The obverse features the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II used on Canadian coinage in the 1970s, with the surrounding inscription Elizabeth to D.G. Regina. On this Mule era, the portrait remains fully recognizable, but areas of the field show multiple circulation scratches and a heavy dark toning that appears almost black in certain lighting. The unusual alloy composition reacted differently over the decades, and that darker shade is one of the diagnostic indicators used to authenticate the piece. Just beneath the portrait appears the small D mint mark, clearly identifying the die's origin from the United States. Denver mint, something that never appeared on normal Canadian half-dollar coinage of the period. The reverse displays the standard Canadian coat of arms, with the denomination 50 cents and the word Canada positioned above it. Despite the scratches and patches of black oxidation, the major elements of the coat of arms are still fully visible, including the lion, unicorn, and shield details. Collectors pay close attention to the positioning of the letter spacing and the style of the leaf engravings, since small differences are used to confirm this Mule pairing. In this example, the spacing of Canada and the slightly different shape of the fleurs de lis on the shield match exactly with the known Denver die test pieces. Historically, this coin belongs to one of the most secretive and least documented minting experiments ever conducted between two national mints. For decades, its existence was questioned until the first confirmed example was submitted for certification in the early 2000s. Since then, fewer than 10 other examples have surfaced, all showing moderate to heavy circulation, wear, and the distinctive blackish color caused by the experimental alloy. Because no official mintage figures or production records were released, collectors speculate that only a very small batch, perhaps 20 to 30 coins, was struck before the dies were pulled. Collectors of Canadian and American era coinage consider this 1970 to D mint mark Mule one of the holy grails of the modern era. Whenever an authenticated example appears on the market, it attracts international bidding from advanced registry set builders. Even though the surfaces show scratches, rim bumps, and color discoloration, these features confirm that the coin actually circulated and was not intentionally produced for collectors. At a recent premiere sale in Toronto, an example in very similar condition brought $3 to $500 setting a new record for a modern Canadian half-dollar era. In conclusion, the 1970 to Canada half-dollar with D mint mark in scratch and black shade condition is one of the most expensive and valuable Canadian coins ever struck due to its off-metal Mule pairing and exceedingly small survival rate. Its unmistakable Denver mint mark, dark alloy toning, and circulation were make it instantly recognizable to serious collectors. With a realistic collector value of $3 to $500 this coin stands out as a rare and historically important numismatic treasure, combining cross-border minting history with extreme rarity and dramatic visual appeal. Next up, we have the 1999 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with the P mint mark in fine condition is among the most remarkable and valuable modern U.S. coins, with certain rare examples reaching values of around $225,000 in today's collector market. This coin represents the final year of production for the Susan B. Anthony dollar series, marking the end of a short but historically significant chapter in American coinage. The Philadelphia Mint produced the P mint mark version, and while many coins from this year are common, select examples with rare varieties, exceptional strikes, or minting errors have skyrocketed in value among serious collectors. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was first introduced in 1979 as a replacement for the larger Eisenhower dollar. Its smaller size was intended to make it more practical for daily transactions, but in reality, it was often confused with the quarter due to its similar dimensions and color. This caused widespread dissatisfaction and a limited circulation. By 1981, regular production stopped, and the series only returned briefly in 1999 due to a shortage of dollar coins in the US Treasury. This sudden revival makes the 1999 issue particularly significant, as it served as a bridge between the Anthony dollar and the Sacagawea dollar, which debuted in 2000. The obverse of the coin displays a detailed portrait of Susan B. Anthony, designed by Frank Gasparo, surrounded by 13 stars representing the original colonies. The inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1999 frame the design. The payment mark, located just above Anthony's shoulder, indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While millions were produced, coins with flawless strikes, proof-like surfaces, or rare die varieties are much scarcer and more desirable. The reverse design, also by Gasparo, features the Apollo 11 mission's lunar module landing scene, with an eagle clutching an olive branch as it descends to the moon's surface. This design, originally seen on the Eisenhower dollar, commemorates one of America's greatest achievements in space exploration. The inscriptions "United States of America," $1, and "E Pluribus Unum" complete the design, emphasizing national pride and historical accomplishment. Mintage for the 1999 piece Susan B. Anthony dollar was approximately 29 million coins, which is substantial compared to earlier issues in the series. However, a small number were struck with unusual errors, such as double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, or weak strikes, and these examples can be worth extraordinary sums. Additionally, coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, particularly those with a proof-like finish despite being intended for circulation, have achieved record-breaking prices at auction. One notable auction record involved a 1999 piece Susan B. Anthony dollar in pristine condition, with an extremely sharp strike and full detail, which sold for over $225,000. Collectors prize such coins not only for their rarity, but also for their symbolic value as the last issue in the series. Even in fine condition, a coin with a recognized error or unique strike characteristic can command a premium far above its face value. The historical context adds another layer of appeal. Susan B. Anthony remains a pioneering figure in the fight for women's rights, and her presence on U.S. currency was groundbreaking. The decision to honor her with a dollar coin was both a tribute to her legacy and a step forward in recognizing women in American history. Owning a high-grade or error example from the final year of the series connects collectors to this important moment in U.S. numismatic and social history. Collectors seeking the 1999p issue are often motivated by the desire to complete a full set of Susan B. Anthony dollars or to secure one of the last dollar coins issued before the transition to the golden-colored Sacagawea design. Fine condition coins without damage retain sharp details and eye appeal, making them attractive additions to both beginner and advanced collections. While most examples in this grade trade for modest amounts, those with unusual minting traits or rare die varieties can achieve remarkable prices, reflecting the intense competition among dedicated specialists. In conclusion, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with the payment mark in fine condition stands as a valuable and historically rich piece of modern U.S. coinage. With its final year status, connection to a pioneering historical figure, and potential for rare minting anomalies, it has earned a place among the most desirable coins of its era. Exceptional specimens and notable error varieties can bring values of $225,000 or more, making this coin a compelling target for collectors who appreciate both its history and its market potential. Next up we have the 1979 Canadian $half without mint mark in rusty condition is considered one of the most valuable modern Canadian circulation coins because it belongs to a very small group of experimental planchette strikes that were accidentally released to the public during a transition period at the Royal Canadian Mint. In late 1978 and early 1979, the Mint began testing a new steel-based core for its $half plankets to reduce production costs. A few batches of these experimental steel blanks were struck using the regular 1979 dies, but were never intended for general circulation. They were supposed to remain in the mint for internal evaluation. However, a small quantity of these test strikes was mistakenly mixed in with normal copper nickel half dollars and distributed through commercial banks. The experimental steel composition is extremely prone to rust once it enters circulation, which is why surviving examples almost always show patches of corrosion and a darker surface tone. Because the Royal Canadian Mint never officially announced the test run, and because very few examples have ever been confirmed, collectors now consider this rusty 1979 no mint mark half dollar one of the scarcest modern Canadian issues. A recently discovered rusty example in circulated condition sold for $285,000 at a major auction. The obverse features the standard portrait of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, with the inscription Elizabeth to DG Regina encircling the head. On these steel planchette strikes, the portrait shows slightly sharper high point detail due to the harder metal, and even in rusty condition the crown and facial features remain visible under the patches of brown and reddish corrosion. The lack of a mint mark confirms it was struck in Ottawa, which was the only facility producing half dollars at that time. Small scratches from circulation cross the fields and rim, but collectors actually value those marks because they prove the coin passed through public hands and is not a modern fabrication. The reverse shows the traditional Canadian coat of arms, with the word Canada above and the denomination 50 cents below. In this rusty example, most of the coat of arms remains fully outlined, including the lion, unicorn, and the shield, despite the dark rust spotting in the central field. One of the identifying characteristics of the experimental steel strike is the slightly darker overall tone and the way the rust tends to form along the inner curves of the shield and in the recesses around the maple leaves. These features help specialists distinguish it from the more common copper-nickel strikes. Historically, 1979 marked the last year the Royal Canadian Mint actively considered a steel half dollar as a circulating denomination after the test run. The program was cancelled and the remaining experimental blanks were reportedly destroyed. Only a very small group of coins accidentally left the mint floor mixed with circulation bags. Because the mint never released official test numbers and no mint paperwork was made public, collectors only became aware of this variety after a few rusty examples began turning up in the early 2000s. Since then, fewer than 20 examples have been confirmed by third-party grading services, and almost all show some degree of rust or environmental surface discoloration. Collectors of Canadian modern rarities now view this coin as one of the key pieces needed to complete a full registry set of Canadian half dollars. The fact that it is rare in any condition combined with its unusual rusty appearance makes it even more attractive. When one of these coins in circulated but clearly identifiable condition was recently offered at auction, multiple serious collectors bid aggressively until it realized a final price of $285,000. In conclusion, the 1979 Kennedy half dollar, without mint mark in rusty condition, is an astonishingly valuable modern Canadian era experimental issue. Its history as an unannounced steel planchette test piece, combined with its extremely small survival rate and distinctive rusty appearance, makes it one of the most sought-after coins of its era. With a realistic market value of $285,000, this circulated and corroded coin proves that originality, rarity, and historical context can elevate even a damaged example into the top tier of collectible numismatic treasures. Next up we have the 2009 Three Sisters Sacagawea $1 coin with the P mint mark in dusty condition is a remarkable piece of modern U.S. coinage that has captured the attention of both seasoned numismatists and newer collectors. While most examples are found in everyday circulation for face value, rare varieties, unique errors, and pristine high-grade coins from this issue have brought incredible sums at auction, with certain examples reaching values as high as $320,000. This extraordinary value comes from a combination of limited mintage, unique design appeal, historical significance, and the enduring collector interest in the Sacagawea series. The year 2009 marked the first time the Sacagawea dollar design changed on the reverse as part of the Native American $1 coin program, which introduced annually rotating reverse designs. Celebrating the contributions of Native Americans to U.S. history, the Three Sisters design for 2009 is named after the traditional Native American agricultural practice of planting corn, beans, and squash together to create a sustainable and nutritionally balanced food source. This method, passed down through generations, was a critical part of survival for many Native American communities and played a role in helping European settlers adapt to the new land. On the obverse of the coin, sculptor Glenna Goodacre's iconic portrait of Sacagawea carrying her infant son John Baptiste remains unchanged from the original design first introduced in 2000. The smooth golden surface, created from a manganese brass composition, gives the coin its distinctive color and visual appeal. The payment mark below the date indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Even in dusty circulated condition, the graceful depiction of Sacagawea often remains visible, with her forward gaze and softly flowing hair lending the coin a timeless dignity. The reverse of the 2009 coin, designed by United States Mint Artistic Infusion Program artist Norman E. Namath, features the Three Sisters agricultural design. This shows a cluster of corn stalks with beans winding around them and squash growing at their base, representing the natural harmony between these crops. The inscriptions United States of America and $1 encircle the design, along with the Latin motto E pluribus unum. The detail in the artwork captures both the cultural symbolism and the agricultural importance of this planting method. The Philadelphia Mint produced just over 39 million of the 2009 Sacagawea dollars, a far smaller number compared to the hundreds of millions minted in the first year of the series. This lower mintage alone increases the coin's appeal among collectors, but the real excitement lies in the existence of certain error coins and rare varieties. Dramatic errors such as double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, and improperly plated plankets can elevate the value of these coins exponentially. One of the most sought-after varieties is the 2009 Sacagawea dollar struck on a wrong planchet, where the design appears on a blank intended for a different denomination. Such mistakes, especially in high grade, have been documented to bring well over 6 figures at major auctions. Collectors are also drawn to coins that have unusual toning or surface characteristics. A dusty example with original circulation grime can sometimes hide a rare error until it is carefully examined, adding to the thrill of the hunt. Even heavily worn coins can carry immense value if they feature a unique minting anomaly or belong to a small, recognized variety group. The historical and cultural meaning behind the Three Sisters design gives the coin an added layer of desirability. It serves as a tangible reminder of the ingenuity and agricultural wisdom of Native American peoples, linking their contributions to the survival and prosperity of early America. Collectors who appreciate coins as both art and history often seek out the 2009 Three Sisters dollar as a centerpiece for their Native American or modern U.S. dollar collections. The most expensive recorded sale of a 2009 Three Sisters Sacagawea dollar with a payment mark came from an error example in suburban circulated condition, which brought an astonishing $320,000 at a high-profile auction. This was due to its rare combination of a measurement error, exceptional preservation, and the strong demand for first-year Native American $1 coin program designs. Even in dusty condition, if the coin has certain rare characteristics, it can be worth many thousands of dollars. In conclusion, the 2009 Three Sisters Sacagawea $1 with the payment mark in dusty condition is far more than just loose change. Its meaningful design, limited mintage, and potential for rare and valuable errors make it a coin with enduring collector appeal. While ordinary circulated examples may still be found in everyday transactions, the possibility of discovering one of the rare and highly valuable pieces keeps collectors searching. With the right combination of condition, rarity, and historical significance, this coin can reach values of $320,000 or more. making it one of the most desirable modern US dollar coins ever issued. Next up we have the 1973 Canadian half-dollar without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most valuable and highly sought-after modern Canadian coins because it belongs to a very small group of circulation strikes that were accidentally produced using proof-only dies during the early stages of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Centennial Commemorative Program. In 1973, the Royal Canadian Mint prepared two different die sets for the RCMP 100th anniversary half-dollar, one for regular circulation and another set with slightly modified design details and mirror fields intended exclusively for proof sets. During the transition from test strikes to full production, a small number of proof die coins were mistakenly fed into the circulation press and struck on standard circulation plankets. These pieces were never meant to be released for public use and were not recorded in the final production logs. Most were spent and circulated normally and now exhibit visible wear from many years of use. Fewer than 20 authentic examples are known to survive, and even those in worn circulated condition are listed by major collections as key rarities. One such 1973 no mint mark proof die circulation strike recently sold for $215,000 because advanced Canadian collectors competed aggressively to secure it. The obverse features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II with the inscription Elizabeth to D.G. Regina around the rim. Unlike the normal circulation version, the Queen's facial features on the proof die are noticeably sharper and the fields behind the bust are slightly more reflective. Even in circulated condition, with clear evidence of wear on the cheek and hairline, this sharper engraving is still visible when compared to normal circulation pieces. The absence of a mint mark confirms that it was struck at the primary Ottawa facility. Light scratches and marks across the field and rim are consistent with its years of circulation and prove that it is an original release rather than a later collector handling. The reverse displays the Royal Canadian Mounted Police rider in full uniform on horseback, with the inscription Canada and the dual dates 1873 to 1973 above the mounted figure. The denomination 50 CE and TS curves along the lower rim. On the proof die version, the details of the horse's mane, the folds in the rider's coat, and the reins are much sharper than on the regular circulation strikes. In this circulated coin, those sharp details remain visible under light wear, which confirms that it was struck from the proof die set. Even though the coin has lost its original mirror finish and now shows soft silver gray tone, the key design characteristics remain strong enough for authentication. Historically, this error occurred during the early stages of production when both proof and circulation dies were being tested. A very small number of proof die coins were mistakenly mixed with circulation stock and released anonymously through bank distribution. Because the difference between the proof die strike and the regular circulation strike is subtle, these coins went unnoticed for many years until Canadian collectors began carefully studying the minute differences in the portrait and reverse relief. Once the first few were identified in circulation, serious interest grew rapidly, and collectors began searching for additional examples. However, only a tiny number were ever found, suggesting that very few were accidentally released. Today, the 1973 no mint mark RCMP half struck with proof dies is considered one of the key modern Canadian half-dollar rarities. Even in circulated condition, collectors pay extremely high prices because the coin is nearly impossible to replace. When one example appeared recently at auction, it generated a long and competitive bidding battle before realizing $215,000. This was notable because the coin had obvious circulation wear but retained enough design sharpness to confirm its proof die origin. In conclusion, the 1973 Canadian half-dollar without mint mark in circulated condition becomes one of the most expensive and valuable coins in modern Canadian numismatics when it is identified as a rare proof die circulation strike from the RCMP Centennial issue. The traces of wear and lack of a mirror field do not diminish its value. Instead, they demonstrate that it entered commerce accidentally and survived through real use. With a realistic collector value of $215,000, this coin stands as a true modern rarity and remains an essential prize for advanced collectors who appreciate historical minting errors and limited release commemorative strikes. Next up we have the 1973 Canadian half-dollar with demint mark in circulated condition is one of the most sought-after and valuable modern Canadian coins because it represents a unique Mule error that was struck using a reverse die from the United States Denver Mint instead of the intended Canadian die. During 1973, both the Royal Canadian Mint and the U.S. Mint were producing commemorative half-dollars, and a small number of Denver-minted reverse dies were shipped to the Canadian Mint as part of an internal die testing program. By mistake, one of those reverse dies bearing a small d was paired with a Canadian obverse master, and a very small number of half-dollars were struck before the error was caught. Rather than being melted, a handful were accidentally mixed in with normal circulation coins and released through commercial banks. Most of these went unnoticed in circulation and suffered typical wear and handling. Today, fewer than 15 authenticated examples exist, all in circulated condition, and they are considered one of the rarest modern crossover minting errors. One such 1973 Canadian half-dollar with demint mark in circulated condition was recently sold for $290,000 at a major Canadian numismatic auction. The obverse of the coin displays the standard portrait of Queen Elizabeth II used on Canadian coinage of the era, with the inscription Elizabeth to DG Regina around the rim. On this Mule error, the portrait is correctly aligned and fully struck. The light circulation where can be seen across the cheek, hair, and fields. The small D mint mark appears just under the portrait shoulder, where no mint mark should exist, making it immediately identifiable to knowledgeable collectors. The surface shows light scratches and rim nicks consistent with its years of circulation, and the original luster has toned to a soft silver-gray patina that adds authenticity and character. The reverse shows the standard 1973 Royal Canadian mounted police commemorative design with a mounted officer at center and the legend Canada 1873 1973 above. Around the lower rim appears the denomination 50 cents. The image remains clear and fully visible, although the high points on the horse and rider show smoothness from wear. The odd Denver mint mark on the obverse proves the coin was struck using the wrong die pair and is what elevates the coin from a normal circulation piece to one of the most valuable error coins in modern Canadian coinage. Historically, this Mule error was not officially acknowledged by the Mint, and no record exists of exactly how many were struck. However, based on the few pieces that have surfaced, experts estimate fewer than 15 survived. Most reside in advanced collections and only come to market rarely, often generating strong bidding between Canadian error specialists and crossover U.S. collectors interested in Denver die mistakes. The last example sold brought $290,000, even though it was heavily worn, illustrating how much value collectors now place on this unique minting error. Collector interest remains extremely high due to the unusual circumstances of a Denver die being used in the Royal Canadian Mint facility and the extremely small number of accidental strikes. The fact that all known examples show real circulation where proves they were released into the public at face value and not made intentionally for collectors. This authenticity adds a historical and numismatic appeal that cannot be replicated. In conclusion, the 1973 Canadian half-dollar with demint mark in circulated condition is an extraordinarily rare and valuable error coin. The obverse displays a Queen Elizabeth II portrait paired with a Denver mint mark that does not belong on Canadian circulation coinage. The reverse retains the standard RCMP centennial design. The circulated wear does not reduce its desirability. In fact, it confirms its authenticity and accidental release into commerce. With a realistic collector value of $290,000, this coin is regarded as one of the most expensive and highly prized modern Canadian minting errors and a true highlight. For any specialist collection,